Welcome back to the Play Action Podcast, the number one podcast that apparently hates Keyshawn Johnson, according to comments.
Yeah.
I think that's where we're going to start. We're just going to start real brief, talking about more of our comments about what Keyshawn said. If you haven't seen the clip by now, it's on our channel. You can see it anywhere.
We'll kind of maybe give him a brief explanation of what we were saying.
Of course, yeah. So Keyshawn posted, well, he didn't post a video. He was on a TV show talking about the Colorado-Oregon game. And he had made comments saying that coaches went out of their way to help Oregon game plan against Colorado. And
our remarks towards that was that he was lying.
Yeah, because there's no way they're helping him game plan for Colorado. And a lot of people came back in the comments and said, coaches share info all the time. And I'm like, that's great. I understand that they share info.
And
all
that's
the time.
true. We don't disagree with that.
Like, I know that coaches called Dan and said, hey, you better watch out for, the slot receiver because he's got a little burst on him. So when he runs across or across the field, it's a little bit tough to defend. That's not the same as game planning. When you game plan for an opponent, you're watching hours and hours and hours of film, breaking down everything, breaking down, what does the right tackle like to do against 3-man rushes? What does the tackle like to do when the blitzer comes from the corner? Game planning is so much more in depth than sharing tips or calling your buddy up and saying, hey, you should watch out for this week.
And even then, it's like, I'm sure Dan already knows that information.
Exactly. Like if someone like Dan watches enough film, he probably clocks in, if I had to guess, 30, 40, maybe 50 hours of film a week.
Yeah.
Like he watches a ton of film. So there's not much information that people can call him and give him to be able to help out Oregon over the week. So when KJ made that comment saying that coaches were helping him game plan, that means he thinks that coaches were breaking down film and creating a full game plan for the Colorado Buffaloes, which did not happen.
Yeah, so we just wanted to clear that up and, just clear it up because obviously there was some confusion. There was a lot of people in the comments kind of just talking about it. And so we just want to kind of clear the wind. And now we can move on with the rest of the episode, I think, right?
No, that's going to end the episode.
That's it.
Thank you guys for watching.
Yeah.
No, but and I get where people are coming from. They think that, we don't understand the difference between sharing information and sharing game plan. Trust me, we do.
Yeah, we do. So we just want to clear the wind on that.
We know the difference between, sharing a little bit of tips and fully game planning for an opponent.
Yeah. But yeah, we got week 5 coming up this weekend.
Yeah. A
lot of intriguing matchups, including one tonight. We're filming this Friday morning. Ranked matchup tonight, top 20. Utah, Oregon State. We got USC, Colorado tomorrow. Georgia, Auburn, Florida, Kentucky, Kansas going at Texas, and then LSU at Ole Miss. So obviously conference play has started, and we're excited for these games. We're gonna give our predictions later, but we kind of want to talk about what's going on in the college football world right now. We got a couple clips we want to show. First being, it looks like we got
the Oregon video from last week. We can skip through parts of it too.
Yeah, we'll skip through parts of it, but kind of what do you want to say about this before we play it? Because I know you've watched it before. I watched it once.
This video is incredibly funny to me because the real clip that went viral was Dan Lanning saying, we don't want clicks, we want wins. Yeah. Then they post this, which is going to give them a ton of clicks.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly.
So it's just kind of, it's ironic because his whole speech was talking about, we're a football team, we don't need the media and all this stuff. Yeah. And then he goes out and they post a 5-minute and 44-second video that is straight clicks.
Yeah. Just taking jabs at,
there you go, Dan. Very well done, Dan.
Attaboy.
You fooled everybody.
Yeah. I kind of want to talk about that as well because I think it's funny that Oregon said that because they kind of have the reputation that they like the national attention and kind of the media attention as well.
Well, this is the weirdest thing to me about the whole Colorado situation right now is they're getting kind of bashed and clowned on for clicks and all the media that they make. every team does that.
Yeah.
Every team makes videos. Every team
It's just
has
like a hype video.
reactions.
Yeah.
Like clicks are a part of college football.
Yeah.
So it's like when people clown on Colorado for their clicks, like everybody does it.
Well, they're just mad because they get the most clicks.
Oh yeah, that's not close either,
Yeah, and I feel like that's kind of what Oregon was maybe a little bit salty about. They were like, we're kind of in the shadow in the Pac-12. We're not used to Colorado kind of taking all of our clout.
Well, I mean, it's weird when you have a 1-11 team that had no success, and then they're getting more views than your team that was nationally ranked last year.
Yeah, just tell us you're jealous. Just tell us you're jealous, Oregon. So yeah, we're gonna fire off this clip and we'll pause it and stuff, see what you guys think.
What a great scene it's going to be here at Autzen Stadium. Look at this matchup. Oregon, Colorado, the thrill of two top 20 teams coming together.
Colorado, they've, I think, silenced some doubters so far. We know that. We've heard the national narrative. It's like a movie, isn't it? It all feels that way. Sometimes, like in movies, the stars align.
Make no mistake about it, this is a Cinderella story, right? And some people think the Cinderella story, right, always goes a certain way. This game is not about a Cinderella story, it's about ending one.
Remember that.
Right? We always know it's Oregon versus Oregon, right? That hasn't changed. I'm not about outside noise. Rooted in substance, man.
They're rooted in substance. Gritty, no nonsense, substance. And that's what Oregon is right now. They're made of the right things, and I think it's a mark of the new era at Oregon.
And God said, let there be Colorado at Oregon.
This is a major stage because of Colorado.
Every station, TV station is talking about Colorado.
Colorado.
We're talking about Colorado.
Bro, they're just jealous. They're just jealous. Come on.
Like, I'm gonna be honest though, this video is really, really well done. So shout out to Oregon for that. But
yeah, it's great production.
It is very funny to me how that was their whole mantra was, wins. No, or we want wins, we don't want clicks.
Yeah.
And then we post a 5-minute video that's straight clicks. But
yeah,
like I said, very well done.
You do you. Yeah, you do you.
The most amazing story of
the year
in sports history.
Made it personal.
It's not about it's personal anymore. It's about they're coming to kick our ass.
Rooted in substance. Today, we talk with our past. When they talk, you don't say shit. You don't say shit. You talk with these. You talk to your help. I'll beat the f*** out of anyone that say I
Everybody's tired of hearing about Colorado.
No question.
And that's going to show up on the football.
The Cinderella story is over, man.
It's pretty good.
Does that all mean something to you? Does that all mean something to you? Yeah, sure as hell means something to me.
Hey, I'd like to report a crime to the murder to these ducks.
Different culture.
First off, I love those Shiloh Sanders comments because football needs that.
Yeah.
As much as people don't want to say it, football needs that.
What, the shit talk?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They need that, I don't want someone to come into my building and be like, "Hey man, I hope you have a good game, buddy. I hope you play really well. Put it right here, right in the handshake."
What do you mean, dude? That's when you go to Provo, when you go to BYU, you get that treatment.
Hope you have a good game, buddy. No, I want some dude to come up to me and say shit like that.
Yeah.
I want that, as a competitor, as someone who's competitive, like that's what you want.
Yeah.
So
Colorado, after watching this, it's like they deserve to get their ass kicked.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it is.
And that's what's so great about sports is, you have a team come in talking bold, talking all this heat, and then, you go out and pound them.
Yeah. You can go out, settle in on the field.
Then it's like,
on the field.
It's like, okay.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people were pissed about those Shiloh comments and him talking all that heat. Don't be. Dude, don't be. It
happens all the time.
It happens all
the time. There just happened to be a camera there.
Well, that's the thing is, all these older generation people, they're not used to seeing this stuff because they didn't grow up seeing it.
Yeah.
But it's like,
so it's just a new day and age, social media.
Exactly.
Media getting involved with the game. So yeah, that is interesting. Do we want to watch any more? Or?
Yeah, I'd say basically just to kind of go through the rest of the video, it's a lot of clips from the game, a lot of hard hits, and
we all know what happened.
We all know what happened.
We all know what happened.
It was unfortunately a murder for the Buffaloes.
For the Buffs, yeah.
R.I.P. But I don't know if you want to watch the full video, it's on Oregon's social media. You can go watch the rest of it. But I just thought it was interesting kind of the whole mantra, and then to have a video like this was very interesting to me.
Yeah. So
especially because every team, if you ask their social media team what they're trying to do, they're trying to get clicks and they're trying to get buzz for their program.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we'll stop talking about Colorado now. So you guys are probably like, holy shit, like stop talking about Colorado.
All right, and then on our next segment about Colorado
USC.
About
Let's get this kicked off. We haven't talked about Dion yet, so no, I'm just kidding. Let's talk about Lou Holtz and his comments back to Ryan Day.
It was just what he was saying before. This is what he said before about Ryan Day.
Okay.
He was just basically saying his teams weren't that tough. They're not physical. And that Notre Dame's going to out-physical them. And then after the game, Ryan Day had his probably 30, 40-second interview where he said physical like 15 times.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's like, yeah, we were more physical. We're a physical team. Everything about us is physical.
Here it is, the tweet.
Let's see. Lou said, I can understand why he did. He doesn't want to talk about... Okay, first off, this is hilarious. He doesn't want to talk about Michigan 0-2. Just completely unrelated.
Yeah, wait, what? He just caught a Michigan straight.
So it's like he just gets a top 10 win on the road against Notre Dame. The first thing that's brought up is Michigan.
Yeah, but, dude, that's crazy.
He doesn't want to talk about the big game coming up against Penn State and against Michigan again. He's a great coach. He's done a tremendous job. He's a great offensive mind. He hired an outstanding defensive coordinator from Oklahoma State. I think he's doing a tremendous job. Ohio State's a good football team. I don't think they're a great football team. He can go after me all he wants.
Huh.
If that just doesn't show how big the Ohio State-Michigan rivalry is, I don't know.
Yeah.
What will.
Yeah, because, we've talked about this before. Mm-hmm. You have to win that rivalry. Yeah. Or else you're on the hot seat instantly.
Yeah.
We talk about Jim Harbaugh. He had some pretty good success at Michigan for his first couple of years. Just couldn't beat Ohio State.
Yeah.
And, so people were talking about him on the hot seat. Mm-hmm. And it's crazy how much of an impact that rivalry has, to the point where it's like, hey, man, if you don't beat them, we're going to find someone else, because this rivalry is the biggest rivalry in college football. You got to be able to get that done.
Yeah, and like I said, this was just a weird beef to me. Like, Lou Holtz, it wasn't prompted to say what he said to Ryan Day.
Yeah.
And then I didn't think Ryan Day needed to spend, 30 seconds of his interview saying the word physical.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I hope that this beef is settled, because Lou, man, you've been doing it a long time.
Yeah.
You just need to kick your legs up and
just enjoy
relax.
The game.
Yeah, relax. Dude.
Enjoy the game. He just had to weigh in his reaction to that. But yeah, let's talk about Nick Saban. And I guess we're back to Oregon, because this is gonna be a Nick Saban reacting.
Well, it's a little unfortunate, because that game had 12 million views.
Yeah,
on the TV. So it's like, it is the talking point of college football.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So
that's just how it is.
Everybody's talking about it.
Yeah,
we're going into a week of college football tomorrow. People are still talking about it.
Yeah, including us. So yeah, we're sorry, but we're just gonna cover what's most popular, and that's gonna be obviously this beef. But yeah, Nick Saban, this is kind of his reaction to the Dan Lanning's, I believe, his speech before the game. So let's hear what he has to say, because it's Saban, so we gotta hear about it.
Saban can be 0-12, but I'll still respect Saban and listen to him speak.
That's always the argument. Where does the access, where do you draw the line and say, okay, there's got to be some time when you can talk to your team and say what you have to say, and it's really not for everybody else to hear.
We don't know if Dan wanted it out or not. Coach Dan wanted it out or not. We have not heard from him. There's some people that say, yeah, he wanted that out. That's why.
He did.
Yeah, he definitely wanted it out. Yeah.
Let's not front here. He wanted it out.
There was a camera in there for a reason. Like, let's be honest.
Hey, let's document this, so 30 years down the line we can look back on this.
Yeah.
It's so we can post this everywhere.
Yeah. And start getting some
traction.
Yeah, some traction to the social media.
He was actually his good side. People were saying that was actually his good side. That's why they put it out there. But my first instinct, as soon as I heard it, I was like, I wish I didn't get a chance to see. Like, that's him talking to his. Is that a conversation between who? Media and coach? Like, when's that decision made on if that goes out, especially in this modern world?
Well, in the modern world, I think you can use the media to send a message to your team. I don't think you need to do that right before the game. I mean, that's something you do on Monday when you talk to the press or whatever, and you want to get a message out there because your team's going to hear that message. So you can reinforce it in a team meeting, but you want everybody to be thinking that way. And sometimes you want your fans to think that way too, so that rat poison doesn't get to them.
Classic.
Rat poison. Rat poison's crazy. Only Nick Saban would say that.
Hey, that's why he's the GOAT.
Yeah, that's why he is the GOAT, dude. That's funny.
But dude, I love Pat McAfee's show.
Oh yeah, me
it's
too.
So good.
I mean, it's probably going on right now. It's Friday morning. He always hosts on Friday morning, so we're definitely gonna hop on it. But watch his show. He's a great personality for college football.
Oh, absolutely. But yeah, Nick's right. You know, Nick, he wanted that stuff to get out.
Yeah, he's 100% right.
Like you're lying to yourself if you don't think that Dan wanted that stuff to get out.
Yeah.
So
there was a reason there was a camera in there, like we said.
That's part of what college football is, and maybe a lot of people don't like that. But a big part of the week and getting prepared for a game is the media side of things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you want that media advantage. You want to maybe make your team feel like they're an underdog, or I don't know, all those battles internally that you're going to have. But he's right. You know, Nick Saban's spot on, and I'm interested to see kind of what would happen if this was something like there was cameras on Nick Saban in a locker room before a speech, because you don't really see that stuff.
Yeah, he's pretty old school.
Yeah,
I feel like he doesn't really care about his social media presence, and
do you think
I feel like a lot of coaches don't.
Do you think he knows how like Instagram works? Do you think he's ever logged on and like liked a picture?
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't. I don't think he really cares personally.
I don't think he cares either, but I don't know. Like,
but how interesting of him to just go out and like, take a shot like that at Oregon when he's when Alabama's not as superior as they are every year.
Well, he's still mad about the 2021 national championship game when Dan Lanning got him.
Oh yeah,
with that defense. So
yeah,
he's still upset about that.
Still pressed about that.
But I don't know. This whole situation has been just super blown out of proportion with both sides, because there's people out there that think Oregon are the good guys and Colorado's the bad guys. That just couldn't be farther from the case.
Yeah,
like this is college football.
Yeah,
you know, both these teams are gonna do what they can to have the media presence and have the advantage in the media. Colorado just does it better than everybody else.
Yep.
So
and that could cause some teams to be upset. But let's see, we done with clips?
Yeah, I want to talk about Travis.
Oh yeah, Travis Hunter.
More Colorado.
Yeah, more. Gosh, sorry.
Yeah,
Travis Hunter. He obviously had the injury in the game against Colorado State, and there was that pretty dangerous and reckless hit by the safety. What's his name?
I don't even know.
His name is the guy who hit Travis Hunter on Colorado State. Number 11, I think.
Number 11.
Number 11, Colorado State. But anyways, Travis Hunter and number 11 from Colorado State, they ended up meeting up and just chopping it up. And Travis like, yeah, it's just football. And I thought it showed a lot of, Travis's character. Because, I mean, for how young this man is, he is very mature. And I think he handled that situation very maturely, considering how the rest of the nation, reacted to that. Because it was ugly.
Yeah. And Travis, man, his show is funny as can be, too.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's just sitting in a onesie, just being himself.
Just chilling. Showing his personality.
Yeah, Travis is a really good dude. You can tell. Like, he didn't have to go out his way and do this. Like, he could have been upset and just been like, that guy, nasty hit, ruined, my season. Took a couple games out from my season, especially the most important ones.
Yeah.
So he could have been angry about it, but he's a competitor. He gets it. First off, let's not take away anything from the hit. Like, the hit was extremely dirty, and there should have been maybe a suspension put on the kid.
Yeah, of some form. Yeah,
and like, I'm not trying to bag on him saying, bad things, but like, he should be the first to admit, like, it was a bad hit.
Yeah,
it was a dirty hit.
It was.
So for Travis to kind of just, put his head down, accept it, be like, you know what, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on. I think they went bowling together, which was really cool.
Yeah.
But it just shows, like, Travis Hunter is a special person.
Yeah.
Not only is he he definitely is. He's the best two-way player in college football.
Absolutely.
You could do it at wide receiver. You can do it at corner. And then just see what kind of a special human being he is too. Like, it's really cool to see.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And, I feel like NFL scouts, they look out for stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's obviously his talent is what shines, but his personality is also there. And I feel like he shows some good leadership and maybe some other Colorado players can take after that.
Well, yeah, and he's a dude I'd want to go to war with.
Yeah.
Every single week, because he's gonna give you 110%. You already know that.
Mm-hmm.
But for him to be the kind of person that he is, along with the kind of football player that he is, that's special. Not a lot of people are like that.
Yeah.
You always have the good people in football, and you always have the elite talent in football. So to have like both of those together,
2 in 1,
very special.
Yeah. All right, let's jump into the game predictions for week 5. What do you say we do that?
Football,
yeah, we can actually talk about football. Holy, we're just talking about all the off the field stuff, but now it's time to talk about the actual football games this weekend, and we got some good ones.
Hey, what we got?
Starting off with Friday night, we got number 10 Utah 4-0 going at Corvallis to play number 19 Oregon State, who's 3-1, coming off that game against Washington State, which they lost. I believe the line as of right now, it was 3, but now it's Oregon State at 4.5.
Yes.
So for Utah, is Cam Rising back? Do they need him to win? And then obviously Oregon State, they're coming off that loss. Can they bounce back, get a win at home? Because they're a great home team. We know that.
Yeah, we're getting in some dangerous territory with Cameron Rising. If he doesn't play this week, you're talking about 5 games he hasn't played. Utah's got the bye next week, luckily. And then they got Cal the week after. So if he doesn't play this week, he's got, an extra 2 weeks to fully rest up and maybe play. But we're kind of getting to the point where, if Cam doesn't play here soon, you might just roll with Nate Johnson the rest of the way.
Yes, yeah.
Because you're halfway through the season at that point. It's going to take him a couple games to get up to speed. So you might just want to roll with him at that point.
Yeah.
And then for Oregon State, that Washington State game wasn't close. I know the final score says 38-35, but it wasn't close. Like, Washington State dominated that game. Oregon State made a little bit of a run, to kind of finish it up. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one ends up in Riser.
Yeah, I think for Utah, they just gotta stop that run from Oregon State and make that offense one-dimensional, and then they might have a chance. But it's just tough. This offense isn't producing as much as they were last year for Utah.
Yep. And
I think that, obviously they have a very elite defense. We like to say that they're the best defense in the Pac-12.
Mm.
And they're definitely gonna have to score more than 14 points to be able to get the win tonight. So
yeah,
I'm still gonna go Utah. So I got the Utes pulling off the upset, even though they are the higher ranked team, top 10 in the nation, going at Corvallis. I know it's gonna be tough. They're not a great road team, but I think Utah will find a way to pull it out in a close one.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tight one. It's gonna be low scoring. If you're a betting guy, you're betting the under today. There's no reason to bet the over because there will not be that many points scored.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for Utah, you're right. They got to stop the run. When you think of 2 big games that they played against Florida and UCLA, those are 2 elite rushing attacks. Like for UCLA last week, they had 3 guys averaging over 8 yards per carry. They had 9 yards as a football team.
Yeah,
last week.
Ridiculous.
So if Utah can stop that run and make DJ throw, I think they're going to have a lot of success on defense. I do worry about Riser. Hostile environment, brand new stadium. And you got a team that wants to prove something. They're looking for a home right now.
Yeah, they're angry. They're angry after last week.
They're upset at teams like Utah for leaving the conference. So with that being said, I am going to go Oregon State ever so slightly. I think it's going to be one of those games. It's going to be an ugly game. So if you don't like ugly games, don't turn the game on.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be like a 14-10 or maybe like a 17-14 type of game. It's going to be super close, super tight, a lot of defense, but I got Oregon State in a tight one because they're at home.
Next one, we go to big noon kickoff. This will be Saturday morning at, I believe it's noon. So big noon kickoff at noon. Number 8, USC 4-0 going at Colorado, who we just like to talk about all the time. 3-1. Yeah, USC, they're 21.5 point favorites. This is the third time this year that Colorado is 3 touchdown underdogs. And USC, obviously, very explosive offense. I would like to say that they are the best offense in the country. Does Caleb Williams continue to build his Heisman resume with, tacking on another win against the Buffs? Or will the Buffs come out and will they perform better with maybe a little bit less pressure, less expectations from this team after last week? And, do they need Travis Hunter to be able to get a win?
Yeah, I think this was always a more realistic game for Colorado than Oregon was. Going up to Autzen, not a lot of teams win up there. So you're going to get USC, who's a vulnerable defense.
Yeah.
I know people like to say, oh, they've improved. They haven't improved. They've played a lot of cupcakes. This is going to be their first real test this season.
Yeah. Arizona State dropped 28 on them last week.
Yeah.
There's still some serious issues, within that team, and especially on the defensive side and tackling.
Yes. So it's going to be an interesting game. I don't know if you saw there was like a list that came out of celebs that are going to be there.
Oh, really?
Just a ton of A-list celebs that are going to show up, which is crazy, first off. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting game for Colorado because they really need a game to maybe not get the momentum back, but they really need a game to put their foot down and say, hey, we can beat these high caliber teams. Oregon was just a fluke. They really need to kind of steer the ship back the right way.
Yeah, I feel like Oregon is the more round balanced team. They're more round balanced than USC.
Yes.
But I still think USC is going to win this game. Yeah. I don't think Colorado can win a game without Travis Hunter. And this is, like you've mentioned before, this is the most talked about 7-5 team of all time at Colorado.
Yeah.
I don't think they're as great as, the media has built them out to be.
Yep.
I do think they have a lot of talent, but it's like to be able to turn things around and, and to be able to beat a team like USC or Oregon or Utah, it's like, it's pretty unrealistic. So,
yeah. And, last week I said, I would be surprised if don't be surprised if Oregon covers that line. I didn't predict them to. This week I am going to predict USC to cover that line.
Oh, wow.
USC is a very explosive offense.
Yeah.
And they can hurt you in ways that Oregon's offense can't. And it's through more of the passing game.
Mm-hmm.
Oregon's more, like you said, they're a more balanced football program. They like to run the ball. They like to pass the ball. They're good on defense. This is going to be a shootout, though.
Yeah.
And by shootout, I mean there's going to be a lot of points scored.
Yeah.
So don't be surprised if USC wins this one like 63-28 or 63-31.
Yeah.
But they're going to put some points on these guys.
Yeah. So.
And I'm interested to see how Shedeur responds because he did not have a great game. He got sacked a lot. That offensive line has to play better if they want to have a chance to win. But I got USC. I think they cover that line. And I think they show why, they are one of the more explosive offenses in the country.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Georgia, Auburn. Georgia's still number 1 in the country. Pick 14.5 as they go to Auburn. This is their first road game of the year. Will they continue to roll? And for Auburn, it's like, Peyton Thorne's not looking too great.
Nope.
And, can a win like this really spark up their season? Obviously it would. But do they have what it takes to be able to pull this off against Georgia?
Yeah, I saw Hugh Freeze's comments saying that they got a game plan better for Peyton and kind of took a lot of the pressure off of him, saying that a lot of the reason that they haven't had a ton of success this year is because of the coaching staff, which I think is cool to see.
Yeah.
You always like to see the coaches take the blame, say, hey, we can put our players in better positions to win.
Yeah.
This is what a lot of people are saying is a tough game for Georgia. And don't get me wrong, I don't think it's an easy game.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's as tough as everyone is making it out to be. I think Auburn will give them problems, like in a similar way to what South Carolina did. I don't think it's enough to get the win, though.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are predicting Georgia to be on upset alert this week. Like I said, I think Auburn will give them problems. I think the crowd will be into it early. But I don't know if it's enough to give this Georgia team problems.
Yeah, I just don't think that they have enough at the quarterback position. I think Georgia wins this game. I don't think it's necessarily a layup, but I think they get it done.
It's going to be one of those gross games. It's going to be one of those games where Georgia struggles and everyone questions if they're as good as they were last year, which they're not, but they're still, the premier football team in the country right now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So, like I said, don't be surprised if Georgia struggles and then the media is going to be like, Georgia overrated, shouldn't be number one. So they're going to struggle this week, but they're going to get it done. And I think they'll get it done, by a couple scores. And it's going to be a lot more comfortable than the scoreline is going to indicate. But Auburn will make them struggle for a little bit, but Georgia pulls out, gets it done.
Yep. Number 22, Florida, going at Kentucky. Undefeated Kentucky, unranked. But Kentucky, they're the favorites here at home. And Florida, their offense was slower last week against Charlotte. We can both admit that.
Yep.
And they're underdogs on the road, even though they are the ranked team. And for Kentucky, could this be the spark to, maybe a potential magical season for them?
Well, people love to talk about, games like the Charlotte game last week for Florida. It's like, well, they struggled. They didn't play well. Yes, but they're coming off a huge victory.
Yeah.
That win over Tennessee, it definitely carried into the next week. They definitely overlooked Charlotte a little bit. And that's why the game wasn't as pretty as maybe people would like. For Florida, it's what they got to do is run the ball.
Yeah.
When they run the ball, they're borderline, unstoppable because, Travis Etienne and Montrell Johnson are two of the best running backs in the league. In the nation. Yeah. This is the NFL?
Yeah.
But, when that duo gets going, they're tough to stop.
Mm-hmm.
For Kentucky, I think Devin Leary has come in and really done a pretty good job at replacing what Will Levis was last year. I'm still concerned about them on the offensive line. That was a big problem last year. And I'm interested to see if, this is going to be the first real test that they have against a good Florida front. They got a good front seven down in Gainesville. So I'm interested to see what that looks like.
Yeah. I'm going to go Florida.
Go Gators.
Go Gators.
Yeah, I'm also going to go Florida. I think those running backs are going to get the ball rolling. They're going to run the ball. They're going to control the clock, and they're going to win a tight one.
Yeah.
Maybe Graham Mertz makes a couple plays that gets them over the line.
Moving to the Big 12, we got number 24 Kansas going at number 3 Texas. This is a ranked matchup. Texas 16.5-point favorites at home, and it's their first big home game of the year. Obviously, they had the big win against Bama, that one being in Tuscaloosa. And then Kansas, they're looking for kind of that similar start to, what they had last year with Jaden Daniels before he got hurt.
Is it unfair to say that this might be Texas's first real test? Is that unfair to say?
Very. Yes.
I think this is going to be a real test for Texas. The line says, 16.5?
16.5.
That seems like a pretty big line. I get it. They're at home. But this Jalen Daniels kid can play. They were 6-0 last year. Then he went down, and it really changed their season. He can play. He can really play. I said at the start of the season on our Twitter account, someone said, who's the best Big 12 quarterback? And I said, Jalen Daniels. I think the kid can play. I think he can do everything that you need from a quarterback. And I think that this Kansas team can really cause some trouble for Texas.
Yeah, I'm going to go Texas with all that information. So thank you.
Going with Hookem.
Yeah. They just look too good.
They do look really good. They don't look like the Texas of years past, for sure. And I'm probably also leaning Texas as well. I think that Kansas they run the ball really, really well. And Jalen Daniels is capable of making those plays that are going to be needed to beat a team like Texas. So don't be surprised if this is, a game that Kansas maybe, has a chance to win towards the end. I'm going to go Texas, though. I think they are playing really good ball. And I think there's a clear A tier in the Big 12 right now. Well, I mean, in the SEC right now, because it's Texas and Oklahoma who are going to the SEC.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go Texas, and I think it sets up a really good Red River next week.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited for that one. Last 2 games, let's make it quick. We got number 13 LSU going at number 20 Ole Miss. The line is LSU by 2.5 as of right now, and both teams they obviously need to win here to be able to keep those playoff chances alive potentially.
Yeah, this is a classic, SEC showdown. Jaden Daniels and the boys, they really put themselves in a bad position losing to Florida State early on, and Florida State's had some cracks the last couple weeks, so it's going to be a good loss at the end of the season, but it's looking a little bit worse than it did maybe a couple weeks ago. Ole Miss, Jackson Dart, they lost a tough one in Tuscaloosa to probably one of the worst Alabama teams.
Yeah.
In recent years. So this is gonna be an interesting game for who's gonna show up and get the job done.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick LSU.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
I'm kind of leaning the upset here for Ole Miss. I think that, they're going to play a lot better than they did in Tuscaloosa. Obviously at home.
Yeah.
Lane Kiffin needs to get a marquee win. I think we talked about Ole Miss earlier in the season as a team they're good, but they haven't been able to get over that hump to really compete for the SEC. This is their chance. Go out, beat a team like LSU, and, you really control kind of your future down the line.
So you're going to go Ole Miss?
I'm going to go Ole Miss with the upset win.
I feel like LSU is just like we don't really know how good this team is yet. They just had that loss against Florida State. So, this is their chance to prove it. So, last game, college game day, number 11 Notre Dame going at number 17 Duke. It's the first time game day's been to, is it Durham? Durham, North Carolina?
No. Yeah, Durham.
Yeah, Durham.
Chapel Hill is North Carolina.
Obviously Notre Dame coming off a heartbreaking loss last week, where they hosted a game day against Ohio State. Can they get the bounce back win? And, can Riley and Leonard and the Blue Devils keep rolling?
Yeah, this is a great game. I think when the schedules came out, you didn't really circle Duke and Notre Dame as a great game.
But I also didn't think Duke was going to beat Clemson week 1.
Yeah, Duke is capable of doing some crazy things. Riley Leonard's, he's a great quarterback. He's really got these boys believing. I loved his interview after the Clemson game where he asked the teacher for an extension on his paper. He's like, hey, professor, I need an extension on that paper.
And the professor responded and just said no.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he made a video. He's like, yeah, sorry, no.
That's hilarious, actually.
I was like, dude, come on, man.
But this could be a great game. Notre Dame's got to bounce back. We talked about them having to be perfect the rest of the way out. This is a great game, and I think that Duke crowd down in Durham is gonna be ready.
Yeah, I think Notre Dame is gonna be pissed off from last week, and I think that unfortunately Duke's gonna have to take the impact of them being upset, and I think Notre Dame's gonna cover that 6-point line. I think they get it done.
Yeah, I really want to pick Notre Dame too. I love Sam Hartman. I love me some Sam Hartman.
Oh yeah.
Audric Estime, man, being 240 pounds as a running back is crazy.
Yeah.
But I am going to go Notre Dame too. I just think Sam Hartman and the boys are really gonna have to make a statement this week.
Yeah, they pretty much have to play perfect the rest of the way out if they want to keep those playoff chances alive. Yeah. And that's week 5. So I think that's going to conclude our episode. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We're going to start doing maybe some more episodes during the week, but right now we're doing 2 a week, a preview and a recap, and we'll be back next week to talk about the outcomes of these games, keep you guys updated with what's going on in the college football world. So thanks for tuning into the Play Action Podcast.